Hello everybody, thanks for dropping by. Today is repair time. This is a 2011 Lenovo T420. It is a decent setup even for these days, but this one has some sort of a problem with the left hinge. Let's take a closer look at that. This is the hinge mechanism. We have the body part of the hinge and the lid part of the hinge, and it looks like the lid part is the cause of the problem. If I move the lid, the hinge more or less stays in place. There is some metal flange connected to the lid and it should be fixed to the hinge and not moving like that. I guess we have to take it apart to see more. Not exactly a fun thing to do, but here we go. The front bezel is snapped onto the lid. There is a lot of plastic fingers along the edge which hold the two parts together. Prying this open means attacking the fine line between using not enough force and breaking the fingers altogether.
You should just do it like a band-aid. One motion, right off!
Calm down, Jerry, no need to yell. That's it. Now the reason why the hinge problem shouldn't be ignored is that there are cables going through that area and they can snap. And by cables, I mean a lot of cables. There's the LCD wiring, Wi-Fi antennas, LED indication, probably the 3G antennas, and the web camera, and the thing light. The metal flange connected to the hinge serves both as a reinforcement of the plastic lid and a wire duct for the Wi-Fi antenna cables. I just need to move the cables away. I will fast forward the breakdown of the flange, since it took me about 10 minutes. The laptop has been used for a while with the hinge broken, so some threaded inserts were moving freely in the sockets, and releasing one of the screws took some convincing. Finally, here's the hinge in all its glory. This aluminum strip is shielding for the LCD. This is the metal flange which should be secured to the hinge via this metal rivet which snapped. And below the hinge there are the brass threaded inserts which hold the hinge, the shielding and the lid together. So what could be done about this? It could be probably welded, but not being a welder nor having access to a welding machine makes it a no-go. Some sort of a metal epoxy could work as well, but the mating area is quite small for the torque being applied to it. And not having the epoxy is also a negative. So what about a machinist way? I could drill and tap the hole into the hinge and use some really flat-headed M2 screw. That could do the job. The downside is that I'm not brave enough to do this with the hinge being connected to the laptop. And that means to take it whole apart. And yes, I know, I should have taken out the battery first. When disassembling laptops, I usually start in the top right corner, take out one screw at a time and put them aside in the same order. Assembly is just doing it in reverse. Perfect, let's take this to the drill. You know the drill, right? I don't have a proper vise for the drill, so I had to improvise a little bit. The drill bit is 1.6 mm for the M2 tap, and I'm using WD-40 as a lubricant. For the tapping I'm using a regular 3-piece tapping bit set. And now the moment of truth. Excellent. Back to the fun part, putting it all back together. I'm cutting away the piece of the aluminum foil to make it fit better under the hinge. And I'm not using the second threaded insert, since it moves freely in the slot anyway. Putting back the palm rest is the most complicated thing. There is a bunch of snap fingers and the lid locking mechanism is quite exposed and has a tendency to jam. Also, don't forget to connect the touchpad as I did the first time. The hinge still feels a bit wobbly and I should have replaced the second rivet as well, but as I was disassembling the laptop I saw some possible future improvements / retrofit, so this isn't the last time I was inside. But until that moment I am happy with the way it is now. Thanks for watching.